It is so shameful that its authors didn't even display a bare minimum of professionalism, integrity, or respect for the adversarial principle or the ethical principles of the UN. We welcome the brave resignation, despite the political pressures of the former president of the Commission, and we'd encourage the current president to go the way of his predecessor and thus to stand down instead of continuing to disseminate lies to satisfy certain non-African interests in exchange for individual advantage. My delegation wishes to express its protest and indignation at the erroneous and mendacious allegations in this report, and we call on this august assembly to give it no credit at all. It is a mishmash of lies in poor taste which seek to control affairs in Burundi by instrumentalizing human rights. Given the defamatory nature of this report, my country, Burundi, reserves its legitimate right to take to court the authors for having engaged in libel and destabilization of Burundi. Criminal responsibility is individual. Rather than performing its mission professionally, the Commission has done quite the opposite. It has engaged in political interference and has called into question the constitutional reform referendum and the justice system in Burundi. These are sovereign powers. This is something which is guaranteed by our constitution, the UN Charter and international pacts on civil and political rights. The authors of this report and their backers have absolutely no right to interfere in this matter. This is an inalienable right of the Burundian people and cannot be subject to tutelage of any organization or country. Mr. Chairman, this report was based on reports and messages of refugees and the social media of the region. These countries fled the countries having committed crimes as part of the coup d'etat of the 30th of May 2015, and they have started attacking Burundi, having been recruited, trained and equipped in violation of the 1951 Convention on the Status of Refugees. Methodologically speaking, this report is clearly biased right from the very outset because the sampling method does not respect the adversarial principle. Fugitives wanted by justice and certain refugees were being held hostage in certain countries still cannot risk making defamatory and mendacious declarations against the government. Their witness statements have absolutely no credibility. Unscrupulously and unabashed, the authors of this report gratuitously affirm that the President of the Republic engages in hate speech. We would defy anyone to find anything at all which hasn't been twisted, which in any way resembles hate speech. This is, again, gratuitous slander. It cannot go unpunished. The head of state, rather, speaks about peace, stability, reconciliation, love for the country, unity and national cohesion, as well as inclusive development. Generally speaking, Mr. Chairman, this report systematically incriminates the government of Burundi while covering up the odious crimes of the radical opposition, which they publicly claim authorship of right from the outset to its end. This paragraph says nothing at all about the crimes of insurgents or putschists who operate with the protection of outside powers and who